For 3 decades, Alec Su carried a reputation that felt untouchable. From the wide-eyed charm that made him a household name in the 1990s to the polished authority of a veteran producer and director, his career looked like a masterclass in longevity. Fans grew up with him, networks trusted him, and younger actors saw him as proof that survival in the ruthless entertainment industry was possible. That image, however, has begun to fracture in a way few expected, as an online storm links his name, fairly or not, to the long-running controversy surrounding Yu Menglong. What makes this moment so explosive isn't a single accusation or leaked clip, but the sudden convergence of old footage, resurfaced interviews, and insider whispers that had once been dismissed as noise. Netizens began connecting dots that were previously scattered across years: shared agencies, overlapping production teams, and decisions made behind closed doors that now look very different under public scrutiny. None of these elements alone would have shaken a 30-year legacy. Together, they have created a narrative powerful enough to put Alec Su's entire career on trial in the court of public opinion. Yu Menglong's case has always been emotionally charged. For months, fans debated videos, body language, and timelines, trying to understand what really happened during the final period of his public life. As anger grew toward managers and agencies believed to have failed him, attention started drifting upward to the industry figures with influence, experience, and authority. That's when Alec Su's name began trending in conversations he had never directly addressed. Not because of a clear, proven action, but because of proximity to power and silence at critical moments. Online commentators argue that silence, in this context, speaks louder than denial. They point to Alec Su's respected status and ask why someone with that level of influence never publicly intervened, questioned decisions, or distanced himself from the systems now being criticized. Old clips of him praising strict management and discipline behind the scenes have been pulled out and reframed, no longer sounding like professional wisdom, but like chilling foreshadowing. Supporters counter that these interpretations are unfair, warning against rewriting history based on grief and speculation. Still, once public trust starts to erode, nuance often disappears. The phrase career collapse may sound dramatic, but the consequences are already tangible. Brand partners have gone quiet. Variety shows once eager to feature him are suddenly reconsidering schedules. Projects rumored to be in development now exist in limbo, neither confirmed nor denied. In an industry where perception is currency, uncertainty alone can be devastating. Alec Su has not been convicted of wrongdoing, yet the shadow cast by association is proving heavy enough to stall momentum built over decades. What truly fuels the backlash is a growing frustration with the entertainment industry itself. Yu Menglong's story has become a symbol of young actors chewed up by systems they cannot control, of agencies prioritizing image over well-being, and of senior figures protected by prestige. In that emotional climate, Alec Su is no longer viewed only as an individual, but as a representative of an older guard that many fans believe must finally be held accountable. Whether that judgment is fair is almost secondary to the fact that it is happening. Alec Su's supporters insist that the internet is collapsing complex realities into a villain narrative because it needs someone to blame. They highlight his charitable work, mentorship roles, and years of scandal-free professionalism. They ask why a man can lose everything based on implication rather than evidence. Critics respond that power comes with responsibility, and that moral accountability doesn't always require a court verdict. This clash of values, legal innocence versus ethical responsibility, is what keeps the debate burning. The most damaging aspect may be the timing. In today's digital culture, stories do not fade quietly. Algorithms reward outrage, repetition hardens suspicion into belief, and every attempt at silence is interpreted as evasion. Alec Su's measured distance, once seen as dignified, now risks being read as indifference. At the same time, a poorly handled response could inflame the situation further, giving critics exactly what they want. It is a no-win scenario that has trapped many public figures before him. As the dust continues to swirl, one truth is unavoidable: Alec Su's 30-year career will never look the same. Even if projects' resume and statements are eventually made, the aura of untouchability is gone. His name has been pulled into a larger reckoning about how stars, managers, and veterans operate behind the scenes. Yu Menglong's legacy, painful as it is, has forced uncomfortable questions into the open, questions the industry can no longer ignore. Whether history will judge Alec Su as a casualty of online overreach or as someone who failed to act when it mattered most remains uncertain. What is clear is that the dark link being discussed is less about a single secret and more about a system exposed under harsh light. And once that light turns on, even the longest, brightest careers can flicker. As the controversy deepens, the pressure on Alec Su is no longer coming only from netizens, but from within the industry itself. Quiet conversations are reportedly happening behind closed doors, with producers and investors reassessing the risks of being publicly associated with any figure even loosely connected to the Yu Menglong storm. In an environment driven by image and public sentiment, hesitation alone can derail careers. For Alec Su, this hesitation has become the new reality, an invisible wall that decades of goodwill may not be able to break through. What makes this phase especially volatile is the demand for accountability. Fans are no longer satisfied with carefully worded statements or generic condolences. They want names, explanations, and acknowledgement of how power structures may have contributed to Yu Menglong's suffering. Alec Su's continued restraint, once praised as professionalism, is now interpreted by critics as avoidance. Each day without clarity feeds speculation, allowing theories to harden into perceived truths. Meanwhile, younger actors have begun speaking more openly about harsh management practices and psychological pressure in the industry. Although they rarely mention Alec Su directly, their words add fuel to the narrative forming around senior figures. In this climate, even indirect parallels feel damning. The conversation has shifted from "did he do something?" to "why didn't he stop something?" A far more dangerous question for someone whose authority was once unquestioned. There is also a growing sense of irony that Alec Su's legacy, built on roles symbolizing resilience and moral clarity, now stands in contrast to the ambiguity surrounding his real-life position. Clips of his past interviews circulate with captions asking whether those values applied only on screen. This contrast has proven devastating for public perception, turning nostalgia into disappointment almost overnight. At the heart of it all lies Yu Menglong's unresolved story. As long as questions about responsibility, protection, and silence remain unanswered, every connected name will stay under scrutiny. Alec Su's career may not end with a single announcement or cancellation, but with something far more painful, a slow erosion of trust. And in an industry that thrives on belief, once that trust is gone, even legends struggle to reclaim the spotlight.